Welcome to IP in 5. I'm Kevin Noonan, partner at MBHB, a full-service intellectual property law firm, and also co-chair of the firm's biotechnology and pharmaceuticals practice group. In this series, we discuss the most interesting and challenging issues in the world of patents, trademarks, and more. Today, we're discussing the topic of patent thickets. I'm joined by my colleague and the biotechnology and pharmaceutical practice group and fellow MBHB partner, Christopher Singer. Hey, Chris.
Kevin, good to be here.
So could you define patent thickets for us?
The term patent thicket was originally introduced in a Xerox lawsuit where they had been accused of constructing a complicated and wide network of patents that were all highly related in terms of their subject matter, that had a lot of differentiation in the time in which they were expiring, and so they were extending into long periods of time, creating a sort of complicated web of patent rights.
Or a thicket.
Or a thicket.
Makes sense.
With regard to life science, I think there's a substantial difference between the role patents play in high technology innovations such as cell phones and microchips versus life sciences and chemistry. The complexity around patents, I think, lends itself to these so-called patent thickets. Why is it impractical for drug companies to be satisfied with one or just a handful of patents to protect their innovations?
If you're going to spend the kind of money you need to spend to get a drug to market, especially a complicated drug like a biologic drug, you have to have patents that are going to protect it. And the problem is that it's easy to make that look like it's the result of greed, it's the result of just trying to prevent the public from being able to do what they should be able to do, which is practice the invention after it's expired. There is this need to make sure that you're going to have enough patent protection that you can get a return on investment, given the very, very high investment to bring a drug to market, anywhere from $500 million to over $1 billion. A lot of that being from things that most people would like, FDA regulation. So you really need this sort of expenditure we're talking about. There's lots of different policies the government can promulgate. Do you have an idea, or do you have something to say, about how these different policies can affect competition on the one hand, and obviously innovation?
The promise of price controls and government-based research and development sounds great, probably until the government tries to price control and control research and development. And so if you're going to be paying money to treat a disease that is otherwise fatal or to improve somebody's life in an incremental way, you know, it's not out of bounds to have these things cost money. Whether the government subsidizes some of these costs or not is a good question. Kevin, we've been talking about a number of ways that entities such as Congress and the PTO or other federal agencies might be trying to curtail patent thicketing. What do you think is kind of the potential outcomes from these attempts and the true intention?
I have a certain amount of sympathy with elected officials, even unelected officials, because it's the impetus is do something. Ultimately, it's the purpose to reduce drug pricing, to get a benefit for the American consumer. So sometimes there's a disconnect between what the, I think, legitimate intention or desire is. Let's try to get drug pricing to be lower, and is it going to work the way you think it's going to work? It's sort of, if you come from the wrong premise, you really shouldn't be surprised when you get the wrong outcome.
So Kevin, in light of the growing push for more oversight over pharma companies' IP strategies, how should those companies respond as they certainly don't want to forego patents, but actually want to continue to build and strengthen their portfolios?
First of all, you have to get the people who are going to have to explain it to legislators. So every company has a legislative affairs group. You have to have people involved that will realize what the possible effects may be, and you have to understand what the consequences may be for the public and for obviously the regulatory agencies like FTC and such. You want to just make sure that you're careful. Well, thanks for joining me, Chris. I think this has been fun. And for everybody tuning in, I hope our conversation shed some light on patent thicketing and that issue, and maybe guidance for how life science innovation can continue to secure and enforce their IP rights. You can stay connected with us for all sorts of ongoing analysis of IP issues across not just our technology, but many technologies. And always tune into the Patent Docs blog, which will tell you what we're doing on more of an ongoing basis. Thanks, Chris. It's been fun.
Thanks, Kevin.